3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Rich Auntie. My name is Tierra, and this is
Ashanti.
Hi. All right, so this is a comedic lifestyle podcast where we're pretty much just going to talk about our life experiences as single women in the society, and pretty much, the lessons that we've learned along the way in our discovery towards self-awareness and self-discovery. So let's just get right into it, shall we?
We shall.
All right, so what's the first thing that we're going to talk about today? First thing. So we're gonna cut and we're gonna edit, right? All right. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so what's the first thing that we're gonna talk about today?
Basically, we're gonna talk to you all about why we felt that this type of podcast was necessary, and specifically, we're gonna start by asking why this archetype is needed in your life.
For sure. Okay, so for me, and you can tell me if you agree, but sort of like the conversation that we had when we started this was pretty much just to be like, this is a podcast where, because we have the Rich Auntie vibe, the whole thing behind it is kind of like this hood type of archetype, this folklore, almost like a Greek deity type bullshit.
In the hood.
In the hood, though. Mm-hmm. To basically say that, not everybody has that person in their life, but they do have that image in their mind of that person, that rich auntie.
Right.
And that person she's very well put together, she got her stuff in order, she might be traveling, you may not know she might be a lesbian, because we don't really know, she don't never have a man, and it's because she just she knows what she wants, and she's about getting to what it is that she wants, you know what I mean?
Right. So basically, in essence, and should I say that we discussed this before? No.
Man, I was flowing and going.
So basically, we broke it down into about 12 points, and the 12 points were that I'm gonna just do it. I'm just gonna look at it. So 12 points.
Man, let's announce it. Cut it in 3, 2, 1, go.
So basically, we broke it down into 12 points, and the 12 points were: she is a matriarch-ish figure. She doesn't have any kids. She doesn't have a man, which Tierra said before, which basically just allows her to be able to be fluid and go wherever the hell she wants to go, whenever the hell she wants to go. She visits every country. She has experiences that she's taken from every place that she's been. She's very cultured. She's very conversationalist, or she is a conversationalist. Emotionally mature. She's financially stable, has boundaries, and she does not let anyone cross them. She will let you know in her respectful way, but also in a way that's like, okay, so you don't want to do this. She's well-rounded. She understands her place in the world as far as her spirituality is concerned. She is wise beyond her years, and she's happy. And then lastly, she's just totally free from social norms. And we struggled to kind of really figure out what we meant by being free from social norms. You want to kind of delve into that?
So the way I look at it when I say she's free from social norms, I'm kind of saying that she doesn't allow society and what the roles that we have in place in society dictate to how she's going to carry out her life. You know what I mean? She's very much the kind of person that's I know what my beliefs are, I know what I stand for, I know where I want to go, I know my goals, I know all of that, and I'm not going to be swayed from it. I'm not going to be pushed to the side. I'm chasing after whatever that thing is. I'm going to get it. And the other thing that we did not mention is that she is a fruit-bearing tree, right? And so it's kind of hard to explain in a very short way what that is, but in a sense it's she has this wealth of knowledge, but she's also very open to giving that knowledge to other people and bringing people to her level, and not necessarily meaning you have to be on her path, that you have to have her mindset, but just meaning that you need to elevate yourself, and she knows how to help you get to whatever that is for you,
right? And
she's going to help you get there, you know what I mean?
And because she's that wealth of knowledge, that kind of manifests into the rest of her life, where she's able to help you even financially if you need to, because like we said, she's financially stable. She probably just has investments and all types of things, and she doesn't even have to work, type of thing. So if she sees fit that what you need right now is just a monetary I don't know, if you need some monetary help, then she'll give it to you. But I also wanted to mention too that because especially as a Black woman, even though I describe myself as such, I don't confine myself to that, and I think that's how Rich Auntie is too. It's very much who I am. I wouldn't speak the way that I do if I weren't a black woman. However, there's no box that's keeping me in whatever black woman should be. So,
and that's the thing, is like, she's not in a box. The other thing I did want to say though is that I don't want people to confuse the rich auntie thing, because that's something else that we discussed, is that rich auntie is not just about a financial thing. I mean, yeah, okay, so she definitely has some level of a wealth, some type of a success in her life, something like that. But ultimately, it's not about that. It's about her lifestyle is rich. She's very wealthy in her knowledge, and as far as like in her spirituality and the way that she goes throughout her life, she lives a very rich life. So she could very well have a job or a career that may not seem like the wealthiest type and may not have the biggest number. She may not make six figures, but she is living the life that she decides, and in that way she's rich.
Whew.
It's a word.
It was a word.
It's a word.
I'm gonna take a sip for one into that one.
Right.
Because, yeah. Once you hit that point in life,
yeah,
and that's why I just like, she and I, we just became friends. What, maybe 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2017. End of 2017. No, end of 2016.
Yeah,
end of 2016.
We just became friends, and like literally, we are soulmates. She's so lucky to have me.
Okay.
But anyway. Or soul family is what we found out.
Yeah, we are soul family.
I forgot what I was going with that, to be honest.
I don't know. I would say that it had something to do with the fact that we shared this thought from day one, and that it was very much like, bitch, where you been?
Right, all my life, because like, I'm not gonna say that I just got to the point, honestly, where I feel like I'm working on my inner rich auntie, and she's a little bit older than me, so she's been working on it a little bit longer than I have.
I ain't got nowhere.
It's okay, but life is a journey.
For sure.
As long as we're getting better each day.
Exactly.
But we connect so well because we have always kind of been on that rich auntie journey, and a lot of people are not fortunate enough to be able to start that journey. And so that's why we kind of wanted to do this podcast, to just help everybody, maybe even expedite the process for y'all if we can, or just get you thinking about how to activate your inner rich auntie, spiritual auntie.
Yeah, and honestly, like, this is not just something that's only for women. It's not just for black women. It's for anybody that needs to be able to have that development, that person that needs that kind of thing. Because when you think about it, like, for instance, in the hood, because I mean, we come from there, so we understand. When you come from the hood, you grow up with what's in your neighborhood. The people that you idolize are the people that's in your neighborhood, and a lot of times we don't have that positive energy or those positive people in our lives to like feed into us in that way. So we don't really know about self-discovery. That's the reason why it matters that we have rich auntie in our lives and have that archetype in our life, because we need somebody that's going to be like, hey, it's cool to get out the hood. It don't mean you ain't hood no more.
Right. Or does it mean that you've forgotten where you come from, because you always remember where you come from.
Exactly. But I mean, you're forever going to be a hood ass. But like, right. But at the end of the day, like, the only way to help the neighborhood you come from is to be able to step outside of it and to prosper on your own, to be able to take it home. And that's exactly what she does. She went out, she got her education, she became cultured, she gained all of that knowledge so that she could come back and be that matriarch, to be able to be like, I see where you at, sis. I see where you at, bro. Let me pick you up and bring you up to where I am and give you some of the wealth that I have.
Exactly.
Right.
But at the same time, she is totally aware that you cannot just go around waking people up.
Yeah, you can't wake everybody up.
If they sleep, they sleep.
Some people really sleeping hard.
Right, and you better catch them in between REM, because if you wake them up, you're done. You're REM. They're going to be disoriented and they going to know what you're talking about. They're going to be
disgruntled and you're going to be giving them truth and they're going to act like it ain't truth.
Oh, okay. All right. So, moving on. We digress.
Right. But actually, this is a good time to go ahead and segue into the next thing, which is pretty much just talking about the benefits of being able to get onto that journey towards self-awareness and self-discovery. I know for me, I feel like it was very important for me to begin that process because, like I said, I did come from a bad neighborhood. I didn't come from the best environment. And I knew from very early on, like, there's a lot of people here, they're trapped here on a mental level. They're not ever going to leave. And I don't need that to be me. I need to get out. I don't want to be doing drugs fresh out of high school and now I got 35 kids and I'm only turning 26. Like that, to me, that was crazy. And if you live like that, hey, yo, do you. No offense. But that's not the life that I wanted for myself. And, you know, going into like all of the different aspects of it, the mental health portion of it, the, you know, having fears about certain things and all that kind of stuff, it was a part of that process for me to be able to be like, okay, like, who am I? Where do I want to go? And how do I get there? Okay, I got to get over my fears. I got to, you know, I got to step outside the box. I can't just be a hood person. I have to be educated. I have to step abroad in order to be able to do better for myself, because I don't want to be living up in the hood. I don't want to hear gunshots when I'm trying to go sleep at night. That ain't cute.
It's not cute. So yeah, so basically the benefits of self-discovery ultimately, and something I really like harp on with people is like, okay, yes, you want to invest in yourself, you want to self-love, you want self-discovery, you want to be the best person that you can be, but ultimately it's not just for you. It's because then you're able to go back to your community and you're able to be that light. Just being is enough to make a difference, because people look at Rich Auntie and they like, dang, how she do that? How she come up here with the Lexus, and then last time she came with the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to struggle. Like, life does not only come in a package of struggling. And I got some people that listen, I'm talking to you. I really hope you know who you are. I'm talking to you. Yeah, so like I said, and it's not all, like we were saying before, it's not always just material things too. You have to realize that peace within manifests everywhere in your life.
Girl.
Yeah.
Girl.
Listen, and it's not a thing where it's like, you go around telling people like, oh, you don't foster to my peace, so you have to go. It's not a cutoff type of thing like people are doing, canceling people all the time. It's just what. And there's this quote that I always like to recite. It's the inner reality creates the outer form. So whenever you have true peace and self-love within yourself, it just permeates to every part of your life. You don't really have to do much, but be that peace that you desire to be. You know,
it just radiates out from you. And it's infectious. It's one of those things that'll catch on to other people.
Exactly.
And then also, like, when it comes to self-discovery and awareness, a part of that journey is actually understanding what it truly means to have self-love. Because what's important is, just like she was saying before about like having the wealth of knowledge, having all these things and finding out who you are to be able to give that to other people, is the same concept with love. You can't give somebody else love when you don't know how to love yourself, when you don't know how to sow into yourself. How can you sow into somebody else's positivity? When you don't know how to have peace for yourself, how can you offer peace to somebody else? So ultimately, the reason why you need Rich Auntie in your life, and the reason why you want to have that journey with yourself for self-discovery, is so that you can be able to give those things to other people and create an environment and create a reality based off of the things that you desire and the things that you deeply need.
Exactly. And so when it's time for you to find a spouse and it's time for you to start having kids, you are so overflowing with love that's the only thing that you can give to people. And when you have self-love, when you really love who you are, and once you're fulfilled with the things that you do and who you wake up as every morning, you have kids, you know, because, you know, there's those people who like have kids and they want, okay, so say for instance, I wanted so badly to be a dancer, but I didn't pursue it, and I got pregnant and I had a kid, and now I want my child to be a dancer. I'm living vicariously through my child. But if you took the time to love yourself before and invest in yourself in your dreams or whatever it is that you want to do, you wouldn't feel, you know, you wouldn't feel inclined to make your child do whatever, something that they don't want to do. I mean, they might want to dance, but it should be on their own volition. It shouldn't be. So yeah, just self-love is enough. It's just being able to love yourself and being able to love others the way that they're supposed to be loved too.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing with what you were saying too is like in that type of scenario, another problem that comes out is like a lot of times we have a lot of people that are hurt, that are raising people that are hurt. And it's because of things like that too, where it's like, oh, you know, for instance, I wanted to be that dancer, you know what I mean? But then I got pregnant and I had a kid, and all of a sudden I decided that those dreams were no longer tangible for me, even though that may not be true. There is a way for that, but maybe you had a defeatist attitude. Maybe you didn't have that true inner peace or that true positivity to see that there's a way towards that. And now the negativity that you feel is the negativity that you feed into your child. And that just, it keeps that cycle going of a community of people that are hurt, that are hurting.
And that's what we're trying to stop, to be honest.
Yes.
And I don't blame the Black community too much for how it's operating right now. Like, we are processing centuries of discrimination, racism, and slavery that we never had a chance to even like get over, and then we are just thrown into a society that's really still kind of broken, you know.
Can we talk about that
still
for a second?
Very broken.
Can we talk about that for a second? People.
People.
Hello, people. It is okay for you to go get help from somebody else. I just want to put that out there, and you just drop it into your spirit and just soak it up for a second. It is actually okay to do that. Like, honestly,
yeah,
that's the biggest problem that I see when it comes to the Black community, is that they don't want to go and get that help. And it's like, you have like a hurt inside of you. You have something in you that's damaged, that is just festering, and it's like an infection, and you need to cut it out. You cannot cut it out if you ain't talking to nobody. And you don't be going to talk to Pookie and them and the local drug dealer, because he ain't got the answer. He just gonna give you some weed. And don't get me wrong, weed is cool or whatever,
right?
But at the same time, like, that is literally just a coping mechanism. We got to stop coping with these things, and we need to start actually dealing with those things, because they're not going to go away until we handle it.
Coping is not processing.
It is not. And I know, because I tried. Okay.
It's not.
I tried to cope, and then it was middle of the day, and I had the blinds shut, and I was crying. It was dark as hell in that room, girl. No.
Yes.
So we can't be.
Yes.
We need to just, and I'm gonna forever throw that in there too. Like, get some help.
No, listen, we are gonna be advocates for getting help. Not everybody has the means to go and talk to a counselor. The only reason why I'm able to talk to a counselor right now is because I'm in school full time, and that's part of the tuition, which it should be. Okay. Because that stuff is not free. Okay, so that's the only reason why I have that. But there are people, obviously, I know that don't have it, but there are avenues, and that's what I want to say, is that I wanted this podcast to be some form of therapy for other people, because I remember when I was going through like my version of depression, where I was actually I had a breakdown, and I was sent to the counselor, but at the same time I had started to listen to podcasts like Amanda Seals. Ooh, she got me through. The Read. Shout out to them.
Love them.
Yes. And then also Oprah, but the one specifically where she's speaking with Eckhart Tolle, who's an author, and speaks about just spirituality. And so those three things were literally like, if I didn't have therapy, I think I still probably would have been okay. Probably would have taken a little bit longer, but I would have been okay. So I just hope that y'all can find solace in our podcast as well.
Also, like, low key, because I also love him as well, I feel like I kind of want to like occasionally do a little plug of some of his content. You know what I mean?
Just like record like snippets.
Kind of just like you know how some people do like a word of the day or do like a message of the day. Just like catch a little moment of some truth from somebody else that isn't just us.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Know what I mean?
Yes. If y'all don't follow Empress AK on Instagram, you are probably losing. Your bank account is probably in the negatives, and your credit score is also.
Actually, you ain't never had wine before. You still out here smoking Newports and cigarillos, and you probably need to moisturize your skin if you haven't actually started following.
Yes,
to be
you're
honest.
probably crusty.
Real crusty.
Ma'am, can you please drink your wine, because I have been.
Don't do that. I've been sipping it. Okay.
Did y'all see it? Because I did not, and
you saw it. You saw it.
Okay. Comment below if you saw it.
You know that you saw it.
Or respond below. Okay, so what we're doing is we're doing the audio podcast, and we're also going to be uploading to YouTube. So you all will be able to find us on every platform that you millennial people and above and below use. Okay. We are at 20 minutes, ma'am, and what was this supposed to be?
Well, we still have plenty of time.
Okay, cool.
Because we said maximum would be like 30-45. So
okay.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. So
excuse me.
So we now know that 20 minutes is the time that we.
We'll be right back. Take a few moments to listen to something from our sponsors. Bye.
I'm recording BT Dubs. Okay, start recording.
right now.
All right, so we don't even have to talk about
Heads
that.
up, you can record for 30 minutes in your web browser. If you like to record for long, you use any app on your computer and then upload the file.
Basically what they said is
that was 20 minutes.
right. So you lied.
Okay, so anyways, we just cut right back into it. Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
I know.
I was gonna say it. So anyway. Okay, so that just is gonna take us into our next part, which is gonna be more about like how exactly we were gonna get into the self-discovery. Like, what type of steps do you think that we need to take as far as getting onto that path? So, what do you think?
How do you get onto the path of self-discovery? That's
A loaded and heavy and broad question. It's so deep.
oh my god. Okay, yeah.
There's no end to that question.
Yeah, what did I do? Let me tell you. Get comfortable with being alone. Y'all know that SpongeBob episode when Squidward was alone.
Yeah, I'm mad at that.
Well, yes.
We watch SpongeBob and we're adults. Get over it.
Okay.
Get over it.
And I'm not 18. Thank you.
Bitch, I turn 30 next year.
Okay, and I
Don't.
am a quarter century, but I do not. I hate you. I'm 25. Yes, I'm a full-time student. Okay. Now that we're moving on.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely get comfortable with being alone. And what kind of, I realized I was spiraling into like a depression. I don't know how to call it, because I'm like, there are people who actually like have clinical depressions, and I was just depressed because my financial situation was
It
changing.
just got dark and heavy.
Yeah, it was just real heavy. There was a lot changing. That's what it was. I was going through a lot of changes. So my financial situation was changing. I was getting out of a relationship. It was a lot of things.
Which, I mean, that is a catalyst for a lot of people.
Yeah.
As far as like depression is concerned, that can be a thing where it's like when you go through a lot of changes at the same time, it really does impact you.
That's true. It does. And my classes were really hard, and it was just a lot going on. So I wasn't getting enough sleep. Oh Lord, now that I think about it, that was a lot.
You was doing those.
Yeah. So anyway, I was afraid to be alone after my breakup. And I would try to fill that void up, honestly, with texting guys that I knew that I do not even care about, hanging out with them. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, you was. Y'all was reading books.
Together. I can stand the sound of their voice. But here I am listening to them read Little Bo Peep to me, and I'm just like, sir, I know the story. Anyway,
That's exactly what happened. You know,
it's not even like climactic anymore. And I was just doing whatever. I just could not stand the silence, because then I was left to whatever was going on in my head, and I really don't know. That's another thing. I was newly into modeling at the time, so I was dealing with new insecurities that I never even had.
New levels of rejection.
Yeah, new levels of rejection. So I was just like, I'm too fat. Like, look at me, y'all. I'm like really thin, but I thought I was too big, because, to believe it or not, those girls are really skinny. Like, when you see them in real life, they be like, you want me to do that? No. And I'm in the military too, so I gotta have muscles and stuff on my body. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it was just a lot. So I had to get comfortable with being alone and being left to my own devices and to the thoughts and my demons, like everything in my head. So once you do that, you're forced to deal. You have to deal with those thoughts. So I think that's the first 2 steps. Be alone and deal with the voices in your head.
Or get dealt with, to be honest, because I'm just go ahead and say a little bit about my experience as far as my first real step into it. Because when I first moved out here, it was pretty much kind of like that was when it really happened, when I really was like, okay, I'm in my darkest place. I was actually depressed at the time, and I was going through a lot of stuff. But leading up to that, I had a couple little moments where the universe or God or whoever you want to believe in was like, hey girl, here's something right here.
Right.
And I had these little dips into the darkness or whatever, but I never truly went down into it until I moved here. And I mean, you already know I was dealing with a situationship that came to a close in a very rough kind of way, in a way that I wasn't prepared to handle. And I went full toxic up in here. Okay, like when I moved out here, I was entertaining and I wasn't just reading books. I'ma just say it nice and plain, mama, I'm sorry.
Right.
However, I was really out here for a little bit. I was hurting feelings, and I knew that that's what I was doing, and I didn't care. And literally, there was a song, what is it? It was my anthem for a hot minute, and it was, she said, I'ma do you dirty. You think you love me now? I think you should be worried. And I was like, that is what I'm on right now.
Sounds familiar.
It was, I forget what her name is. Kehlani, yeah, it's her. I was on that specifically. I was like, I'm gonna text you. We gonna have conversations about things, about books. Maybe 50 Shades of Grey might be the book that we were gonna talk about. And then after that, you're gonna be sitting there fainting off this honey, and I'm gonna carry on with my business, and I'm gonna be validated, and I'm gonna feel strong and what I need to feel strong in, because I needed some type of external thing to lift me from where I was, because I was just residing in darkness for like a whole year. And I wasn't talking to people. I was going through stuff that I didn't even tell my parents about. And because of it, you know, I dealt with a lot of stuff. I was in school at the time, had to literally stop going to school because I had got so deep into my own depression that I couldn't even function. I was literally going to class, leaving class, and coming straight to my bed and just sitting there. Blinds was nice and shut. And I'm sitting there like, oh no, I'm over the situations.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, a bitch is bawling and ugly crying, like and looking at the walls, just crying on the couch for no reason. And that's when I also started self-medicating. I started doing the edibles, and I started dipping into smoking, and I was drinking. I was actually drinking every day at that point.
I remember that. You always drink wine though, right? No, you would make little cocktails too.
I would make cocktails. I was drinking wine. I was doing everything. And I mean, even before that, I had a moment with depression where I was drinking wine every single morning. And morning for me was different because I was on that weird schedule and everything with the job. But literally, I would drink, and then I would take myself to sleep, and I'd wake up. And every once in a while, I poured a cup and poured something in there that wasn't just juice, and took myself to work knowing I was dead wrong, but I was that deep into it. So it took me being confronted with my own emotions and my own, like, you know, problems to be able to deal with them. So that's the first thing I would say, is just be able to sit down. I actually think like writing is a really good thing, because for me, my biggest problem is I have a hard time talking about it. You know, there's like a vulnerability thing that goes into it, all that kind of stuff. So for me, if I'm feeling something and I don't really know how to say it, I just write, and I just don't stop until I'm done. And by the time I get to the bottom of it, somewhere in there, I've addressed the problem. And I think that's a good thing for people to try to do as well. So.
Yeah, personally, I don't have to. You see that glare? Am I tripping? Oh,
you got the sun on you.
Oh, look at Zarilla now.
Problematic.
No,
I ain't no problem.
Anyway,
Wow.
I was gonna say, for me, and I think it's different for everyone. You don't have to necessarily write. I don't have to write. I will say that I'm a better writer than I am a speaker when it comes to like just making things flow better. But for me, when I am going through something, it really just helps for me to just say it, just like word vomit it all out, even if it doesn't flow, and just have somebody that's sitting there like and then I feel better, because I come to the conclusion by myself. I'm like, oh, there it is. Well, there it is.
You know what else though? That brings up something that I was talking to you about before: the importance of having a person in your life that could tell you who you are when you need it.
It right here. Don't even worry about it, because I put it right there. Who the F you are.
Who the fuck you are. Okay? Because I'm just going to say it. I done already cussed like 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's okay. We're going to be cussing. Okay. I'm just taking it easy today.
I'm not. I'm just going to be for real with y'all, because, you know, that's just how it is. But you want a person that is going to be honest with you. Not just tell you who you want to be told you are.
Right.
Okay? We don't need a friend that's going to sell you pipe dreams, or a person that's going to be your yes man or your yes woman. You need that friend that's literally like, no ma'am, this is who you are.
Right. And ma'am, also, I remember 4 months ago when you told me this was what your goal was and you had intended on completing it in September. However, it is now August and you have done absolutely jack squat.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Where you at with that?
Right.
Exactly.
Accountability, and just basically that person who's also on that self-love journey who has the ability to basically snuff out bullshit.
Yeah, you need an elevation partner. That's what you need. Look at me. Okay. You need, but honestly though, you need that person that's like, I have goals that I'm trying to get after, and you're like, I got goals I'm trying to get. Okay, so let's talk about them goals real quick and let's create some level of accountability.
Right.
And that can be a tool towards that. So that kind of goes into a little bit of a separate portion that is still technically a part of self-discovery, but that person can be all those things for you. They can be that person that's like, hey man, look.
And they don't have to be a romantic person.
No, it don't.
Please invest in your friendships too.
Yeah, it's very important. Also, speaking of that, when you get with somebody, do not neglect your friends. Don't leave them. Don't leave them.
Everybody plays a role in your life.
Exactly. Because that's the other thing, and that's the reason why we are such good friends and why I am like you little sis, is because when I was going through things, bitch, I don't say it. When I was going through things, the person that I was able to turn to, and not even that I was able to turn to, but the one that grabbed me and turned me was you. Because when I say I wasn't saying anything, I was chilling on it. I was,
you was radio silent.
Because that's what I'll do. I will shut it all the way down. I will shut communications. What are they? People, who are they? What is the sun? Because the blinds are shut and I ain't talking to nobody. And you was the person that was like, let me get up in this darkness real quick and grab you by your hair.
I don't remember doing that. Please give me an example.
So the first time that you did it, and I don't really want to get into specifics with it.
Okay.
Was when Voldemort, I'm gonna call him Voldemort.
You shall not be
when
named.
Voldemort was still actively in my life at the time, and he hit you up and was like, hey, have you spoken to Tierra lately? And you literally like immediately was like, hey girl, so I don't know what's up, but what is up? Also, like, I'm sorry that I haven't already figured out that something is wrong here.
This is in Augusta, right?
This was in Augusta. Yeah, this was when I was like, oh wait, this is my friend. Oh my god. Wow. But then it turned into that, and like even when I came down here, when I came to Orlando, it was like you kept hitting me up like, hey, so how you feeling today? And I'd be like, yeah, I remember all of that.
I have a terrible memory.
She really do. But it's fine though, because like I remember it because that was actually like a very, very dark place that I was in.
I just remember this one time you had cramps and I really wanted to bring you some ice cream or some chocolate. I forgot what it was. And you was like, no, I'm good. I'm like, but she's alone. I was telling my boyfriend at the time, like, he's like, why do you feel like you have to do
I remember that.
Actually, no, he was going to come with me to do it. Yeah. But she was like, I'm good, y'all. Like,
right, I'm dying, but it's fine.
Right. Like, I really wish now I just would have freaking like not listened to you.
Right. This is a monthly death. Like, don't even stress it.
Well, me, I be on the patch. So I be like, look, it's been 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
See, I can't do that.
I'm
sorry. I'm too scared that my body's going to try to pay me back for the time it missed with me.
Well, see, I haven't gotten to that part of self-love. Right now, I hate that part of myself.
I feel you. I'm just trying to like not medicate nothing and just be out here in nature and stuff like that.
Yes.
So.
Ooh, nature. That will be another episode when I finally get over dirt. But like, I actually do want to get more in touch with nature because that's a big important thing. Anyway,
that's another thing.
Oh, are we not digressing? Okay.
No, that was a digress, but I'm bringing it back. Another thing, it kind of plays into what you were saying though. Find something that you love and ride it until the wheels fall off that thing, okay? Because for me, it's dancing, right? For me as well. And okay, maybe you like arithmetic. Maybe you really like geometry. You like to put stuff in graphing calculators. You like the, I don't know.
Do it.
You like to solve for X. I don't know. Whatever that is, whatever that thing is, hold on to that, and also make sure that you try to reach out and find a community that is also doing that thing. Get around like-minded people that that can distract you from the darkness, because you're going to be in there and you're going to have to deal with whatever it is you're dealing with. But you also need to take a hiatus from that and just love on yourself and care for yourself in the process, because it is a painful process to strip away everything that's going on with you and like get down to the why am I hurting? Why am I randomly crying?
Okay. The last 5 days I have been crying, but today, no, not today. Today I will make it my duty
to solve 12 math problems
with intention. And I will have a good time, okay?
Also, yeah, did you want to go ahead and explain the whole thing about intention? Because I actually like what you said about that before. Doing things you love with intention.
Yes.
That thing.
Woo! Okay, so when you speak to a lot of people who are spiritual, they talk about meditation in the traditional sense, where they're talking about you just going home or whatever, being silent. Personally, I have some form of ADHD something.
Yeah.
So I don't do sitting down and doing nothing very well. What I do
Ditto.
is I like to dance and I like to move around. And for me, dancing, I have realized, is that form of meditation. Because when you're meditating, you are focusing only on one thing or nothing at all. Nothing matters. It's just something that elevates you to a different realm where bills and anything else.
It's like Squidward. Alone.
But except you're happy to be there.
Yeah, except you are in the boat. It's a galaxy happening around you. Right. Stars and stuff. You know,
float in like nothing matters. Exactly. No societal norms. No, just nothing that society has placed in our life to distract us from. Let's talk about it. Growing in a spiritual sense and manifesting our goals, because there's so much power in that. So what I do is when I go dancing, which I usually go dancing at least every weekend if I can make it, I'm like, all right, this is my moment to just, I don't know how to explain it, but I do it with intention. I go in there knowing, first of all, I just pay at least $7 McDollars to be up in here, and I'm a college student, and that is like at least a third of my gas tank. And I'm also driving an hour, so I'm going to get in here and I'm going to dance a lot, okay? I want my underwear to be wet.
You said that. Actually,
okay,
no, that's true.
I better walk out of here with my legs crossed, because
what's happening in that?
Because crotch sweat is a thing, okay?
It's very real. It's very real.
It is. And booty sweat. All of that. I want to trickle rain down on my booty cheeks. Please.
You're dusty.
All right.
Oh, you're dusty. But no, you're right. It's kind of like, because we share that in common. The whole dancing thing is that, like, dancing, it feels like, how I've always said it is like, no matter how I feel, even if I'm like, yo, I don't even want to go dancing right now, I get there, and then as soon as somebody asks me to dance and my feet hit the floor, it's like I've taken off this thick winter coat that's just been drenched in water. It's like everything is so heavy and I just pull it off, and then I'm spinning around like I'm a goddess or something, and I'm just attracting love and light and energy. I mean, I am, but I'm just like, you know, attracting all this positive energy and things like that. And that's the feeling you need, you know?
Yeah.
It's like right now I feel like
you're rude.
A booty.
Hey, so I bet you're wondering, where's the rest of this video? Well, I guess you're just gonna have to go on to other platforms to listen to it. We'll have a link down in the description bar. Thank y'all.
Bye, girls
and
guys and everything in between.